Finally, after 4.5 years, Parliament has done what the British people instructed it to do. 4.5 years of obstruction, 4.5 years of attempting to nullify, to overturn the result of that referendum. And today, by a thumping majority, the new agreement, the new deal between us and the European Union has been approved. A majority of 458. I guess they did that because they knew the alternative would have been a clean break, no deal. I should, of course, tonight be filled with joy and elation that we've actually left now the single market, the customs union, we've left it all behind. And yet all I can feel is a sense of relief. Relief that it's happened, relief that we're out, but it's not joy because there are aspects of this deal that really are dreadful. The first, of course, is Northern Ireland. You know, we've put a part of the United Kingdom into a different constitutional arrangement to the rest of us. Northern Ireland has almost been hived off. And I think the consequences of doing that are going to make the battle to keep Scotland part of the UK just that little bit more difficult. That doesn't mean I think Scotland will leave the UK. I don't. But I do think giving them a separate status is going to add fuel to the fire that Nicola Sturgeon is building. The worst part of the deal for me is fisheries. I said at the time of the referendum and in the immediate aftermath that fisheries would be the acid test of Brexit. And I'm afraid the deal is shocking. Yes, we get back a little bit more quota over the course of the next 5 years. But the Prime Minister today just did not tell the truth in the House of Commons. Now, whether he has been badly briefed, whether he's actually read the document himself, I simply don't know. But he says after 2026, you know, we become an independent coastal state fully. The adjustment period, as they're now calling this, will be over and we can catch all the fish we want. Oh, no, we can't. We may call ourselves an independent coastal state. Monsieur Barnier may acknowledge we're an independent coastal state, but we still don't own the fish that swim within our exclusive economic zone. And after 2026, we will not be making sovereign decisions on who can catch what in British territorial waters. And I'm afraid to increase our quota share after 2026, we would actually have to pay compensation to the EU fleet. That's us paying them for our fleets to catch our fish in our waters. Surely it should be the other way round. They should be paying us to fish in our waters. So I think the fisheries aspect of this is little short of a humiliation. And perhaps the other point to note is that financial services, Britain's biggest industry, the sector in which we actually traded a surplus with the European Union, doesn't really get a mention. There are no agreements at all for services like financial services. So we have a deal that is good for BMW, good for the champagne makers, and good too for British exporters to Europe in the sense that there's no tariff, in the sense that there's no quota, but nothing for Britain's biggest individual industry. Against that, I do think it's right that we praise David Frost and indeed praise Boris Johnson, because this deal is so much better than that abject surrender negotiated by Mrs. May. Oh, did you see her today getting up in the House of Commons saying, oh, why didn't you vote for my deal? Well, because it was a sellout. The whole thing was a sellout, not just fisheries. Better she retired to Maidenhead, I think, and we never heard from her again. That's just my view. I wonder what you think to that. But the truth of it is, this is now not an EU treaty as the previous attempt was. It is an international agreement, a treaty between us and the European Union, but it's not an EU treaty. And that means that every aspect of it is not going to be adjudged by the European Court of Justice. And that actually is real, genuine progress.